There's 39 seconds left in the game, and it's been a defensive battle, 14-10. Even though they were facing the best quarterback-wide receiver combo we've seen in years, Tom Brady and Randy Moss. A few moments ago, David Tyree used his helmet to catch a football, and somehow Eli escaped 2 D linemen who both had their hands on him to deliver that catch. In a game where 100 things needed to go right, about 99 of them had. Eli hikes the ball, Plaxico runs, does a double move against the corner, and it's not even close. He left him seconds behind. The Giants just scored the Super Bowl winning touchdown, and Plaxico was one of the faces of New York City. Bonjour amigos, welcome to Takes in Fuego. Today we will take a look at the entire timeline of Plaxico Burress and how close he was to football glory. Plaxico was no slouch in the league. He finished top 4 in touchdown receptions in 06 and 07, the 2 seasons before the incident affected his career. He was on track for New York City glory and a fantastic football career, so why would he go and do this? He wasn't supposed to even go out that night. He caught 1 ball in a game against the Cardinals the week before. It was called back for a penalty. He was already listed questionable for a hamstring injury for the Cardinals game. He didn't know it at the time, but it would be his last game in a Giants uniform. He would leave this game and was to miss the next game as well. He wasn't playing this week, he thought, so why not go out? The night began at Applebees in New Jersey, where he and several Giants teammates had steak. I guess even NFL players like Applebee's steak. Who would have thought? Ahmad Bradshaw called Burress to pick him up. He agreed to. On the way over to pick up his teammate, Burress had stopped home. He went to pick up his Glock 9mm. After picking up Ahmad Bradshaw, they make their way to the Latin Quarter nightclub. It was a higher-end club with some history. A lot of big names had performed there. Frank Sinatra, Sean Paul, Run DMC, LL Cool J. As Plaxico walked through the metal detector, he had set it off. Burress lifted up his shirt and showed the gun in his waistband. The safety was off. The bouncers let him go through to the club and gave him his own security guard alongside him. They stood in the lower level of the bar, and Plaxico remembers the place is packed wall to wall. The security guard from earlier suggests they go upstairs for a private table. Plaxico and his teammates agree. He begins to walk up the stairs with a drink in one hand. He remembers the stairway being narrow and dark. Everything was black, he would say. That's when he felt it. Starting to slip down the waistband of his sweatpants, Burress reached down for the pistol and the gun went off. Except that's not exactly what happened. He was wearing jeans. It was the New York Post who reported he was wearing sweatpants in a higher-end New York nightclub. This is how Plaxico remembers it. The music was loud and I could feel the bass thumping the stairs under my feet, but I could barely see, and I guess I missed a step and my foot slipped. My gun came unhooked from my belt and went sliding down my right pant leg. My instant reaction was to catch it before it hit the floor, and I reached down with my right hand to grab it, and I guess my finger hit right on the trigger because it went off. Burress hadn't even realized what just happened. He looks around the club, making sure he hadn't accidentally shot someone in there. The music was loud. No one knew anything had happened either. They were acting as if they hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary, because they hadn't noticed anything. Then as Plaxico looks down, he sees his pants are wet. Turns out, it was blood. A bullet went through his right thigh, and his teammate Antonio Pierce transported him to the hospital. Pierce would be questioned by the police for 6 hours for his role in this. He would not be charged. Before they left, one of the guards actually fetched Burress's gun in the club. Then the aftermath begins to occur. Mayor Bloomberg held a press conference later saying they will prosecute Burress to the fullest extent of the law. Plaxico asks his lawyer, "Who's Mayor Bloomberg?" Turns out, he's the mayor. Plaxico did have an expired concealed carrying license, and even that was not in New York. Not having a concealed carry license while carrying in New York is mandatory jail time. Plaxico would be charged on 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon and reckless endangerment. He even went so far as to hire a prison consultant to learn how to do prison correctly. For what it's worth, it appeared to work. He pled guilty and did 20 months of his 2-year sentence and has stayed relatively out of the limelight since. As this is going on, the Giants released Burress. Tom Coughlin would have this to say at the press conference. Plaxico's contribution to our championship season in 2007 can never be underestimated or undervalued. He displayed tremendous determination throughout that season. Having said that, I have always been as concerned about Plaxico as a man as I have been about him as a player, and my hope is that everything that has happened over the past several months represents a turning point. Plaxico felt like he was somewhat let down by the Giants. He meets with Coughlin after he makes bail. Coughlin leans back in his chair and looks at Burress and says, "I'm glad you didn't kill anybody." When he came to visit his teammates, several players came out to greet him. Eli Manning was not one of them. The Giants were not planning on paying Plaxico his bonuses. The NFLPA fought for him to receive his $1 million bonus. In a way, Plaxico left them in the cold. The Giants were 10-1 at that point when the incident happened. They beat all 4 teams that went on to reach championship weekend in 2008, including the Steelers and Cardinals. 3 of these 4 wins were on the road, and after their 10-1 start, they lost 4 of their next 6 games. Burress shared his story with the 2017 draft class, told them they're not as special as they think they are, not even if you catch a Super Bowl winning touchdown. For more stories, including when the Mafia forced Joe Namath to retire, check out the videos on the screen, and be sure to subscribe or I will host a party at your house and I will recruit the security guards from Latin Quarter Nightclub.